Hi, welcome to IST 611. This is week 13, and we're focusing on gaming this week. It's a really fun topic. We have three learning objectives for this week. The first is to survey the arguments, both pro and con, for using gaming to support learning. The second is to be able to start to understand the different classifications, the genres of games. And we do this in an attempt to be able to separate each one and be able to see how does this type of this genre of gaming support teaching and learning. I also want you to be able to understand the research and what's behind it. So to do this, we have resources, we have a guest speaker, and we have our forums. Now, the first is the resources. It runs a full gamut. When I talk about gaming, what we're going to be looking at, and I'm sure all of you are thinking of, is video games. And yes, we are. It's a very good article. We have video games and simulations. And that's very good. It's called Virtually a New Way of Learning. And it gives you a lot of the background educational understanding about how kids learn, how anyone, the learner, gets involved and is faced with new situations and how it develops various thinking skills. What I also want you to look at is a Pew research. There is the Pew Foundation does a lot of very, very good research. And this one is on, the exact title is Teens, Video Games, and Civics. And it's teens gaming experiences. And they talk about how diverse, and it really includes very significant social interaction and civic engagement. It was done in 2008, but is the last large research done about gaming by Pew. And they're one of the leaders in the field in doing this. They're extremely authoritative. And their research is good because it's understandable. It isn't statistic-ese that you have to read and you think, you read a paragraph and think, what is it I read? This is very good. There's lots of charts, lots of graphs, and I think you'll enjoy that and give you a very good research background. There's also there's a one-page article about the different genres. I've also included an article, and it's about board games. When we have our guest speaker, Chris Harris, and he's also going, I think, to try to bring his co-author, Brian Mayer. The two of them work at the Geneseo Valley School Library, the BOCES, and Chris is director of the school library system. He's my counterpart in Geneseo Valley. So they wrote a book, Libraries Got Game, Aligning Learning with the Modern Board Game. So they're not specifically talking about video games, although I think Chris is a pretty heavy video gamer, so you could bring up that topic with him. They're really talking about board games, and his article will give you a very good background. And if you're really into it, then you can get a copy of his book. I'm sure it's in most different public libraries and maybe some school libraries as well. So we have those things as far as resources. We will be meeting with Chris in Adobe Connect on April 20th, Wednesday at 4 p.m. And Chris is young and bright, and I think you'll really enjoy talking to him. As we did our last guest speaker. He really had a lot of insight, and we enjoyed it. We're going to run the Adobe Connect session in a very similar way. We'll have both of our forum facilitators, and then we'll have a third facilitator who will be in charge of developing questions. So 4 o'clock on Wednesday, I will post the questions in a notes area, and then we will be able to see Chris and Brian in a webcam, a video. And then there'll be the chat. And I love the way you did that. It's almost like a back channel, what you were doing. And that's excellent. As something was mentioned, one or two of you go out, you'd find the link, you'd post it, you'd react. So it's really nice. And Chris is very used to that. Chris is very, very much into technology, and I'm sure Brian is too. And so I think they'll like that. And it makes that whole webinar much more interactive and engages the learner. And so I'm hoping you'll watch that. As you also go out to be librarians, you will be involved in holding webinars sometimes with your faculty, with students, whatever. And so as you're participating in these webinars, also think about how would you run the webinar and what is it like to be a learner in a webinar. Because webinars are hard. They tend to be too teacher-focused, too presenter-focused, and not learner-focused enough. And so these different techniques are very good. But all of you jumped into that and did a great job with the webinar last week. you don't have any assignments, I will be working this week. In fact, Wednesday, I have taken a vacation day, and I'm going to be marking all of your papers. I'll be meeting you in Adobe Connect. So Wednesday for me is a Syracuse University iSchool day. I will be getting all of your papers back. But up until this point, all of you have done a really phenomenal job. You're a really incredible class. You had good discussion. You're very good in your papers and your assignments. Your wikis have been really excellent. I've been very impressed with all of you. So please, I am available. We only this week and the next, we have 2 weeks to go. So please Skype me, email me, talk to me, any issues. I would love to talk to you about it and help you solve whatever issues you are having. A few of you I know have to receive an extension due to circumstances beyond your control. It was a little hard to finish up some of your collaborative technology projects. A lot of that is due to the snow days. We've had really extensive snow days this year. It's kind of put a lot of pressure on teachers to be able to do any extra projects. Okay, so I think that's it. I look forward to seeing many of you on Wednesday. I will record the session, so if you're not able to make it on Wednesday, then you will still be able to listen to the session. And I hope you have a good week. Bye.